A little bit of glare off the glasses, yeah. Let's see. Yeah. That's better. A little better. It's a little better. Okay, try this again. What's this guy doing? No, no, no. Just gonna start over. Okay, somebody's here. I saw somebody sneak in. Okay. Tag is here. He brought his beef pants. You ready to beef? Alright, I started a stream a few minutes ago, but then a phone call came in. Emergency phone calls. Had to take that. It's raining. It's raining. Nothing to paste. What did I do? Oh, Osgood's back. Yellow. Welcome, welcome. All right. Get the grifting out of the way. There's the grift link is pinned. We got, let's get our chat filter to all tweaks instead of top tweaks. See how a battery usage holds out. We'll go as long as I have battery power. I got some supplemental power. I'm doing good today. It's an extremely boring day, so I figured I'd get on YouTube so you guys could entertain me. I think Generally Specific just went live. But I lasted all of half an hour last night on his live stream. I just couldn't take it. That was the panel with Coded Friend and GJM and Ryder. Ryder was up there. Muckster was it? Muckster. What was that Muckster character? It just got too undignified too quickly. So we lost Jody. We had Jody here earlier, but I guess she's got stuff to do. Well, how are you all doing today? Tag said he's doing good. Oh, you were just tweaking. Well, that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Bored out of my skull here. We got more rain, so that kind of puts a halt on everything. I still got my truck I haven't even looked at as far as getting it going. What's happening is it's not building high pressure oil on the high pressure side, which fires the injectors. I'm suspecting I gotta put the scan tool on it again. I'm suspecting it's the IPR valve, because I sealed that whole thing, and just the manner in which it stopped running was it ran, I shut it off, and then when I went to start it the next time, it didn't work. So it's possibly a wiring issue, or it's the valve itself. I have a spare valve and I can fix the wiring if it's a problem. If I had a leak in, say, one of the seals, I would expect a slow progression of hard starts or hot no starts, but that didn't happen. So I think it could be a quite simple fix, but I wasn't building enough high pressure oil to actually fire the injectors, and I could hear it right away. So, and it didn't sound like even when it's got a small leak in one of the seals, you can still hear it's trying to fire, but this was just like dead. The injectors were not going. So I think it's the IPR valve which regulates. It cuts off or provides the high pressure pump with enough ability to build up that pressure in the system. So I think that might be where I got to focus. But I got to put it on the scan tool again and look at the live data while cranking, just to make sure, because it could be a leak in the system. It could be. So you're working, so you'll be in and out of chat. Well, I'll just be smoking and drinking coffee. So there's really not much going on. I imagine people are tweaking over on Todd's chat. So. Did see an interesting non-panel this morning when I woke up. Everybody's favorite, Christine Danica Ruff, aka Direct Estrogen, was attempting to get some haters to weigh in to tell him what for, but nobody was interested. So I find that tremendously funny. All the new stuff is beyond me. Yeah, it's just getting like, what's beyond tweakness? Like, it's crazy. But the rough stream, I mean, it was in the middle of the night. Like, I woke up at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and he had just ended his stream a couple hours ago. So that would have been like, well, he was well past midnight Arizona time, which would be like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. East Coast time. So I don't know if he was expecting Todd to come up on panel, or, but apparently he's unblocked everybody. So anybody's welcome to come up and tell him what for. I think it's kind of at the point we just ignore him. Like, I don't want to be his content. Like, I'm just not. Somebody was trying to bot snipe him again. So somebody had purchased bots. The view count was up to 40,000 views on his live, which is not real numbers. But Rabbit, aka William Barthel, aka the pastor of the Church of the Savage Heart, Savage Tweaker, aka the grieved widower of Andrea Lyon One Matthews, was on panel. Didn't really have much to say. It was a super lame live stream. The First Amendment Protection Agency, the People's Bicep, was up there, was in the chats. People were trying to goad him to come on panel, but he's like, nah, I'm not going to be your content either. So it was delightful to see that nobody really wants to engage with him, other than people that are as hate-filled as he is. So. But yeah, didn't get a lot of new info out of Chris's stream, other than the emphysema seems to be progressing. D and Todd are social influencers, maybe. maybe. I don't know. Are you an influencer if your audience is less than 150? Or, I mean, to me, an influencer, that's somebody who's got like thousands of people in their live stream. Like, John Felix, James Freeman, you know, their lives, the chats would fly by. You know, it was hard to read the chat. So they were First Amendment influencers in that genre. Someone like Direct D, Dead Air D, I mean, he's influencing a small community. I mean, this is a small community here. So I don't consider myself an influencer. I don't think Todd's reached the level of influencer. Maybe that's his aspiration. He's got a good grift going. There's people throwing money at him, so he's using YouTube as a business endeavor, which is great. The haters and the lovers both contribute alike. But being an influencer, like this is what I was getting at yesterday or last live stream. Like, just for instance, myself, if I wanted to be an influencer, building my brand off of Direct D, which is what Todd is doing at the moment, and Chris Ryder, I don't know. Contrast that with the Badger. You know, he just leeches off everybody. Everybody's content gets leached, but Bao becomes the content. And Bao has said Todd has brought the content. Welcome in, Brandon F. and Mitchell. Good to see you. Good to see you. Just a boring day here on the rainy plains of Manitoba, so not much going on. Figure I'd come let you guys entertain me for a little bit. We'll see where this goes. Not much going on. Don't have much to say. There's not much I can actually do other than clean out the RV again, but I'm kind of at a situation where I'm in limbo yet again, where there's not much to do, and I don't have a place to put my stuff. Like I'm unable to set up my camp, if you will. So I've got stuff piled in the RV that really should be shedded or put in a location outside. Like I got jerry cans in the back, I got spare water jugs, I got coolers inside the RV that I'd rather have in a storage location. So I'm kind of just existing here, which is fine. But there's not a lot going on, and I'm kind of just here. So hence the thumbnails and the live stream is just a boring rainy day here. A little bit of news. I did get an email from my lawyer that was handling some of the matters, the financial matters in my separation with my ex. It sounds like she's filing papers for divorce, so that's upcoming. I told him to go do what you got to do. I haven't had contact with the ex. It's kind of like I'll have my Jews contact your Jews, kind of thing. So gotta get back to work. Have a great day, folks. Well, peace out, Brandon. Yeah, but what have we learned in the last couple of weeks? Well, Bao's found some employment. It inspires me to want to go find a job. Not really, but I'm kind of unemployable at this point. The last few job experiences haven't gone well. I don't know if it must be me. but inevitably there's somebody I make uncomfortable in the workplace, and it just goes south really quick. There's usually some unearned animosity that I seem to attract. I don't know. So yeah, I'm kind of avoiding the whole job thing. Mind you, I'm only here for the summer, so starting a job, like who's gonna want to put me to work on a temporary basis? I mean, I suppose, but I don't know what it is. I kind of have discovered I have an effect on people. I either fit in wonderfully, or well, I fit in with most, but then there's always one or two that get triggered, and that's it. And a lot of the workplaces I find to be very toxic. Just the office politics, or the culture of the workplace is allowed to fester, if I can use that term. So yeah, BC was a little bit of a disappointment. It was a research project. In or it was a fact-finding expedition, my first venture out west, and I'm kind of at the point where I just gotta figure out my own thing and not rely on trying to fit into a system that people are trying to build, because I think a lot of people are just incompetent now. It's like there was a shift that took place in the mid 2010s or something. It's just managerial styles or managerial skills, they just went south really quick. So I've kind of settled, like, I'm just gonna have to do my own thing, whatever that is. I'll figure it out, but it's a weird situation. Like, it wasn't always like this. Like before, you could go get a job, work at it for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and it was like employment was a source of stability. And it seems like that's not the case anymore. Employment is not it's not foundational to any kind of security, is what I found. And that was not my parents' experience. It's like you can get a job in whatever system, the education system, or the trades, and it's like the whole world's gone crazy. Is anybody else feeling like that, or it's just bizarre? I kind of, as a observer, student of human behavior, it's like the humans are behaving festery and tweakier than I've ever seen in my whole life. So maybe they've always been like that. I don't know. It's not even important. But, yeah, it's quite possible that everybody's over watching GS. I really can't watch anymore. It's too frustrating. It's just round and round and round the same thing. And I give DirectD the pity views, because I mean he needs it at this point. So I'm just here trying to encourage myself, try to reassure myself that I'm not a terrible person. Am I a terrible person? I could be a terrible person. whatever. I got coffee. I got smokes. I went and broke down yesterday. Bought a pack of smokes. That first one, oh, it hit nice. I hadn't had a smoke for like 12 hours or something. It was good. It was a really nice tweak. But what's on your minds? What's going on, Mr. Osgood? What's happening in the Pacific Northwest? What's keeping you busy these days? Max is bored as fuck. Let's get a shot of the tweaker here. Yeah, I think he's choked. There's not much to do out here at the moment. Gotta take loads of pine needles to them. Well, that sounds exciting. That's something I can get into. But for now, I'm just gonna hang in the RV because that's really all I've got going on. Don't really have any projects lined up other than just to get established here. And no mercy sheep in the house. Fellow Kanakastanian. No mercy, you're in Ontario, yeah? You got the fire thing going on there? We've had so much rain. I don't see the wildfire thing happening in Manitoba this year. I think they might have some issues in Alberta, but I think Northern Ontario was getting hammered. Some of that smokiness is drifting down into the eastern seaboard of the United States, but it's been pretty soaking here in central Canada, Manitoba. So I don't think the fire issue is going to be, let alone the smoke. I haven't had any smoke drifting over from Ontario. Oh, you got bad smoke in Peterborough? Well, that's like right outside Toronto, isn't it? Or southern Ontario, anyway. I don't know exactly where the fires are, but the reports are that northwestern Ontario has been getting hammered with the wildfires. Haven't looked into that as far as whether there's any fuckery behind it, or if it's just climate change, or who knows. Bad forestry, wildfire management practices. I think it's probably the management systems in place that are just putting an L in the one loss column again. But yeah, that smoke, it sucks. We had bad smoke last summer. We had fires in northern Manitoba and northern Alberta, and the prevailing winds up here are typically from west to east. And we got smoked out pretty good last summer. This year, not so much. But I feel you. The only smoke that's affecting me is the one in my fingers that I'm about to light up. I find I do smoke too much during live streams. That's a me problem, not a you problem. Well, what's happening in Peterborough these days? What's new and exciting? We got Mr. Osgood hauling pine needles. Are you hauling any needles of any kind today or any time this week? I guess the weekend's coming up. It's Thursday already. This week is kind of just poof, gone by. Time is another one of those things. it just goes by nonsensically fast at this point. Oh, you're anticipating no more smoke by Saturday. Well, that's good. Yeah, there's not much going on because it's raining yet again. It actually hasn't rained in a week. We should have got a lot more done here in a week. We just got a machine back yesterday doing more work on the driveway, spreading a little bit more material. We're anticipating getting a little bit more fill material to put on the driveway and spread out over the, there's about probably 2 acres is the size of the yard, and then there's another 2 acres beyond the back tree line that's currently sowed with soybeans. At some point when this was subdivided, I guess the yard was surveyed, and the farmland surrounding here was just continued to farm, even though it wasn't the farmer's property anymore. So we'll see how that goes. You're operating a stone slinger. Ah. Store slinger? I think you mean stone slinger? I don't know what you mean. And camping RV. But yeah, the established yard is about 2 acres here. We found property marker pins yesterday. I was just bored, so I went looking for them. They hadn't been located, but I found them. I found them. So we got the frontage markers located. The rear pins for the back of the property, they've probably been dug up by a cultivator. So the place might have to get surveyed yet again. But really it's 330 across the front, I'm assuming. We didn't measure it out, but typically a 5-acre lot is 330 by 660. 1 rod by 2 rods in the old measuring system, the real measuring system. Forget this feet and meters and inches. It's should be measuring stuff by rods. That's what I thought. Stone slinger. But yeah, we've got a couple of projects where well, not we, but there's an infill house that's being built in Winnipeg, just a few miles yonder, and they're going to be hauling loads of fill from the basement excavation over here. So we'll be able to lift the property by a decent amount. Even the roadway, like the municipal road is so much higher than the driveway, so we could put another 10 inches on this driveway just to get the elevation correct, and then put our aggregate on top of that. So we got some clay on the way, some fill that's going to be hauled here. Hopefully this rain isn't going to turn the driveway into a mess, but I think that basement's supposed to be getting dug early next week, so there could be truckloads of fill coming as early as Monday. And we're supposed to get a machine on here full time to use, so that's supposed to come Sunday. So start doing some skid steering. Larata does always win. That's just the way it goes. Isn't it great to be a Larata? I'll smoke to that. So things are happening just at a snail's pace here, but it is happening. But yeah, there's lots to do, and we're second half of July already. Like we got to get this project underway. Love the license plate. I love it too. It's fun. It's fun stuff. It's fun being a Larata tweaker. There's no other kind of tweaker that you want to be. A dignified tweaker, yeah? Like it's not enough just to be a tweaker. You gotta have dignified tweaks. For goodness sakes. A dozen? A dozer. A dozer. Now we're just gonna get a skid steer, so a dozer would be wonderful, but I don't think we need a dozer. But it would be fun. So yeah, we're gonna get a little bit more material to put on the driveway and spread it. Like really the whole property is gonna could use a decent lift, a few inches. So between the excavation on the basement that's going here and some material that's coming from offsite, we'll be able to do some swales, get some nice drainage going, get the water away from any buildings and where it needs to go. If anything, this rain has been showing us where the low spots are and how to build the swales or how to contour the property. But yeah, it's just been a bit too slow. I was expecting to get back here and hit the ground running, but it's been very similar to my experience in BC. Is just hurry up and wait. There's not been a lot going on. So if I was closer, I'd like to do that kind of stuff. Yeah, well, like I'm in the position where I'm not calling the shots. I'm relying on somebody else to make the decisions and supply the resources. I'm just available here to work, and there's no work to do. so I've been cutting weeds and kind of tending to the property somewhat, but there's not equipment or material to work with. So maybe I could go to the hardware store and grab a shovel and a rake and start smoothing stuff out. But no, we should have had a skid steer on here all last week. Like we should be way ahead of where we're at. But again, it's not my project. I'm just here, and it's not costing me anything to stay here. So. But I'm not. I'm just finding myself to be bored. So, which isn't. Being bored can be productive, I guess. In a way. Does that make any sense? Boredom is not the worst thing that could happen to a person. Running out of coffee, on the other hand, oh my goodness. Even running out of smokes is not the worst thing that could happen, but damn, running out of coffee, that would be a problem. That would be a crisis. There's no way I'm switching to mate. Fuck that. Actually, I just remembered the other day, I've got some tobacco leaves that I had grown on my property. They're probably really old. I don't think, like they're not fresh, but they're dry. I gotta find me some rolling papers and try to smoke some of that tobacco I grew a couple of seasons ago. I gotta make a list. When I run into town and grab supplies, I always forget something. I was supposed to grab some motor oil for the generator. I forgot. I wanted to do an oil change on the Honda, which I got outside. The rain is tapering off already, so we were supposed to get an inch, but I don't think we're getting an inch. Let's see what the old weather app says. Yeah, it's already tapering off. But even if it is tapering off, that doesn't mean we're going to get much done today. But that's where we're at. Just me and the dog looking at each other, being a little on the bored side. Because as I said, there's a limit to how much of the Arizona Kentucky drama I can handle at this point. My capacity has gone down. We need the Badger filter, right? So maybe it is a pining for the Lorata community to assemble under the guidance and supervision of the illustrious Badger as our ringmaster and master of ceremonies. I'm at a point where I'm not interested in setting up my laptop to do panels or anything. It's just maybe I should. Maybe that should be my project. Get it all set up, get it all tuned in, but I just don't feel the motivation to do any of that shit. I don't want to turn into a drama channel at this point, or try to even recreate what Bad Badger Studios does. Maybe that's what I should do. Start editing clips. Maybe I could do a Hoe for Life archives, retweak clip stream, shorts, etc. It sounds like I'd have to learn skills to do that. That sounds awful. Yeah, tweaking in an RV. I think that's about all the capacity I have for right now. Let's see how long we can do a dead air stream here. Total content. Like, I'm just looking around here. Is there anything to talk about? Is there any drama I can just create? Max, do something. Say something. He's not into it either. Well, that's it. We are at we've reached direct D levels here. Just dead air. I can't even cough in a manner that emulates or gives proper homage to what direct D does. I can't even compete with his coughing streams. I can't even fake cough. I don't want to do the fake laugh. It's pretty depressing. Well, not depressing. It's just it's not appropriate at this point. But No Mercy Sheep says get a dozer. That could be my project. located. Actually, we did see one on Marketplace the other day, or I saw one. Pretty cheap. Well, here we go. The rain is, I think, more or less done. It's stopping. I did see that nice waterfall coming down the window off the top of the RV. That was my thumbnail. What did you think of that? See those freaky looking ripply lines on the window from the water cascading down. I thought that was pretty picturesque. So that was my thumbnail. That was the least boring thing of my morning. So, oh, and it's afternoon now. So I talked well into the afternoon. So what else we got going on? Not too much. We got some legal paperwork that's going to be upcoming. It'll be good to have that settled. Just get that out of the way. One of the objectives was to have all that divorce paperwork wrapped up by the end of 2026. So it looks like that's in motion. I haven't filed any motions. I haven't filed fuck all yet. I think it's just a matter of me signing papers at this point, because I got my crack team of legal representatives on the case. So we'll keep you updated with any progress there. It should be a fairly straightforward transaction at this point. I mean, what else can you say? It's just a matter of a court stamping some papers and saying this legal entity no longer exists. Namely or I guess, like what does that actually do? Like what in the eyes of the law? So two people get together, go get a piece of paper and say, we're doing this thing called a marriage, which is represented by this piece of paper, and I guess a divorce takes that piece of paper and undoes that. I'm just trying to reverse engineer, like why is the legal system involved in that union at this point? It's all very confusing. I'm sure somebody who understands the law could explain it better, but it's like, what is the divorce process accomplishing? I guess it's nullifying that piece of paper that we paid $30 for or whatever, to get her name and my name on a piece of paper saying this name and that name are going to be united as one legal entity now. So now we're separating that legal entity back into two entities. Conceptually, that's how I imagine it. I could be way off. Whatever. Maybe I just overthink stuff. That could be it. I probably just do a bunch of overthinking. Totally unnecessary. But in any case, if you guys have got any ideas of what a tweaker in an RV should be doing on a Thursday afternoon, I'm open to hear your suggestions. Has anybody else got anything else going on YouTube's? Let's just have a little look here. Okay, so GS is giving her. Let's see. See if all the Savage Saints is in Todd's chat. Twiggy is there. Good. Gotta have Twiggy. Oh, Princess Consuela is over there. There we go. So we got a few people that are keeping tabs of what's going on in the Meade County Kentucky situation. Is there a panel going on? Yeah, I think GJM is up there. Fellow Canuckistanian. Uh, did pick up a few possibly insignificant details about Rabbit's TPO against Todd. And these are really insignificant, but I guess Rabbit, aka, not aka, Billy Barthel, aka the Rabbit, aka the Benghazi Rabbit, had filed the TPO in Florida against Todd, since Todd was broadcasting on YouTube the 911 call from May 30th, 2025, the day that Andrea decided to self-delete. Which I don't believe for a second. But Billy Barthel was explaining to DirectD that Billy had contacted Todd's lawyer last week, notifying Todd's legal that he was going to be motioning for a continuance, and it wasn't clear why the continuance was there. Conflicting time frames with other legal matters that William Barthel has to deal with. So for whatever reason, this Tuesday was supposed to be Todd's day in court, and on Sunday the continuance was filed, and so Todd's lawyers didn't actually show up because they knew the continuance was requested, or the motion for a continuance was filed, and so Todd's lawyer didn't actually appear, and it doesn't sound like there was a reason for him to appear because the judge was likely going to grant it anyway, or there was no objection to the continuance from Todd's legal team. So again, the whole motivation for William Barthel to make the TPO was because of the distress and harassment he was experiencing from Todd YouTubing, which again, we've seen this before. It sounds like a big steaming pile of bullshit. And so it seems like the legal system is just being played because that's what it's there for. Like it just seems very illegitimate. I don't know. But yeah, it appears that Billy Barthel is still holding on to this story that Todd's activity on YouTube causes him and his loved ones great distress in his time of bereavement in the circumstances surrounding his wife's death, Andrea Lion One Matthews. And so the discussion has gone far, 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 far away from what actually happened just over a year ago in Spruce Pines, North Carolina. And it seems like there's no motivation or impetus to get back onto that story. Maybe you guys have come across some, but I don't think there's anybody out there talking much about it. And it's not Todd's responsibility to talk about it at this point. It's not my responsibility to talk about it. I think it's a story of interest. And so I don't want to come across as like we demand justice for Lion One. I think it's just an interesting story. It's like that other story, the Guthrie kidnapping. Like, whatever happened with that? Like, that just went away. Whatever happened to Grandma in Arizona? Again, of all, that was Pima County too, wasn't it? Pima County. Pima County seems to be on the map for all kinds of weird ass stuff. Same with Apache County. But, that's another story for another time. But yeah, I don't want to come across as some kind of, you know, moral, or be sitting on some kind of moral high horse that Todd is expected to pick up the story, or somebody is. I'm not in a position to pick up anything on this story. I don't. I'm not going to be reaching out to Sean Porter or Press Harder to get them to tell the world what they know. I mean, they have their own platforms, right? I'm not. I'm not. I don't have access to Mr. Matthews, you know, Andrea's father, but I do think it's an interesting story, and I'd like to see some kind of resolution to what clearly are a bunch of conflicting facts and accounts from the day that a bullet entered Andrea's cranium, ending her life. This That's a fact. What we're trying to figure out or determine is, how did that bullet come to rest where it did? Which, as far as I know, the bullet itself was never actually found. A shell casing was found, but the bullet itself wasn't found. So there's people out there that, again, it's not their duty or job necessarily. Well, there's some people that we pay to look into these matters, but it doesn't seem like they feel it's their duty either. Maybe the State Bureau of Investigation in North Carolina is on the case. I don't know. We don't know. We just don't know. As private citizens, public YouTubers, you know, we're just out here inquiring. Inquiring minds want to know. But at this point, it doesn't appear anybody's terribly concerned about getting to the bottom of what happened, which is odd. I find that odd. So, or maybe there's just processes underway that we're not privy to, and it'll all come out. I just am inquiring as a matter of public interest. It seems, with all we've seen in the last year plus around the Savage Saints, that shed dweller in Apache County, the controversy around Meade County and J.J. Scarborough, the attacks on Chris Ryder and Tiffany Napier, the army of trolls that has surrounded the felonious tweakers, the undignified tweakers. It's just been a strange dynamic going on. And that's what's got my attention. It's just, there's too much strangeness. The sudden appearance of secret catfish, aka the cackling, neck-jowled, weird avatar, purple-haired, petty bitch. Her accounts of being an administrative assistant to the Savage Saints and collaborating with William Barthel with AI Music, and Billy Barthel going to jail and then attacking jailers and getting out of jail and going back for, like, there's just this swirl of weirdness around the whole thing. I find that part fascinating. Like, none of it makes any rational sense to me. Maybe that's just the way my brain works. Like, I I want some rationality to be injected into the situation, and I have yet to detect any. So maybe there is none. Maybe there is none. Maybe it is just a bunch of insane people and behaving insanely. It's just wild. Uh, Maybe there are no answers forthcoming. Might just have to live with that. Might just have to take a sip of the Tweaker coffee, light another smoke, and ponder why the internet even exists. It seems the internet's just a big steaming diaper that's been filled with dookie and someone decided to set it on fire. You'd think the internet would allow us to get the information, to process the situation, to solve the case, to solve the mystery, to make sense of what we're seeing. But it seems like the internet is incapable of doing that at this point. I think that's really weird. I think if anything, like, this could have been settled by the middle of June of last year, but no, we're in the middle of July of 2026, over a year from the events I'm interested in, namely the event where a tweaker came home, shaved himself, from head to toe basically, because he was afraid of his beard getting caught in a wood chipper. Gets out of the shower and finds his wife dead on the bed from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. You'd think between law enforcement, State Bureau of Investigations, YouTube investigations, you'd think this could have been tied up neatly a long time ago, but no, here we are. Maybe it'll be another Karen Reed thing where it just goes on and on and on and on. We shall see. But yeah, we just got a bunch of Tweek babble going on here. That's all I'm good for today. So I know it hasn't been the most captivating content, but I did say it was going to be non-tent. I'm just going to be sitting here watching me smoke cigarettes. Well, I guess I could brew another coffee. That sounds exciting, doesn't it? Let's put some water on for coffee. Maybe we'll get bot sniped. Maybe somebody will buy a bunch of bots and try to take down my channel in a nefariously tweaky kind of manner. What do you guys make of that? I know Finkel has come clean and said it wasn't me. I'm not buying these bots and sending them over to DirectD, trying to make his channel look bad in the eyes of YouTube, violating terms of service. So Finkel has denied all involvement in those bot raids. Do you believe him? Do you believe Finkel? I believe him. I personally don't know if DirectD is worth the money to invest in buying bots just to sabotage the channel. So again, there's probably some interesting development going on there. But I don't think anybody from Todd's side is necessarily doing that. Maybe is Savage Saints involved somehow? I'm just guessing. I'm just throwing shit out there. Just asking questions. It's not an accusation, but it's like who would do that? Why would somebody do that suddenly when DirectD goes and unblocks everybody that he had blocked. He says he does that every 6 months to deal with the trolls. Well, it seems like none of the trolls came back to his live stream yesterday. So it's like he is dying for attention in some manner. It's all just very weird. I mean it's Tweek content. It's what we show up for, but it's all just weird internet YouTube bullshit, right? Like I'm just staring off into the distance. I'm not trying to avoid the camera here, but it just doesn't make sense. And that's when I get not disturbed. That's not the right word. That's when I get interested. It's like, where's the rational explanation for doing this? Like, it could be just some rando on the internet that decided to harass DirectD. But DirectD has enough people that dislike him. I mean, in the last year, he's been on Denver Metro Audit's case. He's collaborated with Frauditor Troll, San Joaquin, Bow, Chris Ryder, Todd, he's always going back to Chile whenever he can. Lane Myers, he was vocal on the James Freeman arrest. Is not what James Freeman did exactly more or less what DirectD did with Heather? I mean, it's different details, but the charges are not there against DirectD yet, but isn't a similar situation? You know, kidnapping aside, illegal confinement or illegal incarceration aside, it seemed like it was a domestic violence, domestic dispute focused against Heather, Sasha, Yeti, Desert Yeti. And so he was treating her in a way that made her cry. It caused her distress. It prevented her free movement to do what she wanted with her property. Whether he blocked her in or didn't block her in, she felt it was in the best interest of her safety and her family's safety to get a restraining order filed against Christine Danica Ruff, who was probably freebasing the estrogen at this point. And that's, he was calling James Freeman out for having a bad moment with his family, of which James Freeman actually got charged. To this point, Christopher Ruff has not been charged. But wasn't he treating a woman that he had relations with badly? I mean, it's been gone through. At the time of James Freeman's arrest and those charges, we all learned about the Arizona laws of what constitutes domestic violence, and it would appear that Christopher Ruff is in contravention of laws that are defined in Arizona as domestic violence laws. So it's all just very freaky and tweaky as we await the next cup of coffee. I know I'm just going on and on, but I'm just trying to alleviate my boredom here. So, but yeah, he's, you know, I don't think anybody in Freeman's camp is buying bots. I don't think anybody in San Joaquin Valley's camp is buying bots. I don't I mean, there's enough frenemy enemies out there that DirectD has that could be part of this, but it's probably somewhat of a psyop that's going on. You know, whether Chris is aware of who is actually purchasing the bots, he may be in on the scam. He may have no knowledge, but I would think it's more part of the Meade County controversy camp that's part of it. Aaron, you know me, I'm always tweaking. But I have very little to tweak about, so I'm just up here tweak babbling. So, by the way, you're unblocked on DirectD's channel now. So he did have an open panel last night. I don't know if you partook of that, but it was more sadness coming from Apache County. Is it too much to ask for people to tweak with dignity at this point? Was there anything going on in GS's stream? Are you just popping in and out here? Or... It's an extremely boring day, so I figured I'd come on YouTube and tweak out a bit just so I'd be less bored. So I'm just trying to process some of the malarkey that's been observed by these old man eyes on the YouTube. But yeah, the bot controversy on DirectD's live streams as of late, I think that probably has something to do with Savage Saints. Maybe somebody who issues credit cards to tweakers in the desert. You got timed out last night for saying someone should get Noma Walker. Ooh. Yeah, DirectD seems to think that he's yanking everybody's chains by blocking them, then doing a bit of a, what do you call it? Kind of issuing a Jubilee proclamation that everybody's unblocked, and then proceeding to block them again over time. He says he does this every 6 months or so. And he was trying to goad his haters into getting up on panel to verbally joust with him or something. It seems that nobody's interested in doing that, which I find terribly entertaining. Because it's like he wants that, but then he doesn't want that. And someone called him out on it. It's like, there's no point in coming on your stream because you just end up shutting them down anyway, either through blocking them or removing them from the panel or kicking them or just name calling. I think that's been the tactic, just calling them little homie or coming up with some ad hominem attack. Like I don't know about his verbal jousting skills. It's just tweaky and weird and sad in a way, but that's my channel too, so I should talk, right? But with DirectD, like the problem with that is there's no defined criteria that I'm aware of what gets you blocked. I think saying Desert Gnome should get a walker, there's some comedic value in saying stuff like that. That might even make me click like on one of his streams if I saw that. I didn't see that comment. I missed your comment there, Aaron, but it's like his criteria for blocking people is really arbitrary. Uh, I think the last time I was able to comment on one of his streams was about 3 months ago, and I literally didn't say anything. And then one day I was just Google blocked. Maybe it's for this. I don't think Chris Ruff is watching this shit show. But one day I was commenting, I wasn't even putting him down. I was engaging with what he was talking about, and whether he recognized the name or whatever, within a few days of that, I was Google blocked, where I can't see him chatting on other streams unless it's in the embedded chats. I had no access to Christopher Ruff, which was fine. I don't need to be a part of anything he's doing, other than watching him like some kind of experimental lab rat. Again, I'm just trying to be an observer of human nature and studying the behavior patterns that I see, hopefully to learn from them and not drift into those same patterns myself. If they're harmful, if they're constructive, I'll try to adapt the way I carry myself, conduct myself. But yeah, I just see DirectD's crash out in slow motion. Is an example of how not to. Yeah, okay. There were, like, I was only able to read the embedded chats on the replay. I didn't catch it live. It was broadcast fairly late, I believe. Like, it would have been maybe early enough for you on the West Coast, but I'm in Central Time now, so I imagine his stream ended somewhere around 1 a.m., 2 a.m. my time, and I was in bed by like 9 o'clock last night. But you were asking Rabbit what the possible outcome of his restraining order against GSR. No one would respond. The Walker comment didn't even show up in the embedded chats. I may not have been timed out because of that comment. Maybe I was just timed out by Secret Scowl because she can't stand me. Yeah, it's sort of... How many mods does he have on his channel? Like, it seems like there's a controlling the narrative element to what DirectD is participating in. I mean, that's been kind of the strategy, at least since Savage Secret has been on the scene, is either getting ahead of the narrative, controlling the narrative, creating the narrative, and then attacking those that have a counter narrative. Because getting up on panel and calling Todd Mester is not an argument. Getting on panel and screaming repeatedly, "What is kidnapping? What is kidnapping? What is..." Like, that's not an argument, right? That's just undignified tweaking. Sorry about the hair flare here. I got some issues going on with the wings here. I think the coffee's ready. Oh, hell yeah. T-Man just struggled in. Welcome, welcome. I saw you stumble in there. How are you doing today? Rabbit was trying to frame the court the other day as if GS's lawyer didn't show up, so the judge had no choice but to extend it 2 more weeks, when that isn't accurate. Yeah, I just before you jumped on, I was kind of trying to go through what I caught from last night's / this morning's stream, where Barthel was on Rough Stream. And so Rabbit's account, or Barthel's account, is that he notified Todd's lawyer last week that they were going to be filing a continuance, and there was no objection from Todd's lawyer, so the continuance was filed on Sunday, and the hearing was Tuesday. And so Todd and his, or at least his lawyer, knew that this was happening, so he saw no reason to attend probably what was a virtual hearing held in Florida. So it seemed like Todd's side knew the continuance was inevitable. From what I gather, Todd may not have known that. I think Todd was expecting something to happen Tuesday, but it seems like Todd's lawyers knew that nothing was going to happen Tuesday. So how that's a win for William Barthel, you got me. I mean it and the rationale presented was the Tuesday hearing was going to conflict with other hearings or legal matters that William J. Barthel was dealing with concurrently or currently. So again, using the court system in a way that allows, in this case, the plaintiff to weaponize the system against Todd, who still, like, this is where I'm siding with Todd. Like, he's still restricted in his freedom to say what he wants and the freedom to bear arms, which I know is celebrated with near religious fervor in these United States. It doesn't seem like this isn't legal genius level stuff. It seems like just delay for the sake of delaying, and Todd is being punished as a result, because it's yet another 2 weeks that he has to wait. And then what's going to happen 2 weeks from now? Another continuance? Like, how many times is Rabbit going to go to the well just to prevent Todd specifically from speaking out about how he feels or has opinions about what happened to Andrea, or just in general against William Barthel? I don't think William Barthel has a leg to stand on here. The other claim is that William Barthel didn't even file for the protection order. It was the judge that issued the protection order on Billy's behalf, when Billy simply provided evidence of what Todd was doing. That sounds suspect. Unless the judge is related to aforementioned William Barthel. Like, again, some of these details just don't jive with the way the system ought to work. Maybe that's not the way things really work. Maybe it is all just grift and scam and felonious tweaking, but it seems like Rabbit is allowed to take liberties within the system that he's currently facing charges on, felony charges, and it's like, why are judges siding with this tweaker and not with Todd, who's got a perfect driving record and no previous criminal record? Like, Todd is pretty squeaky clean from what I can tell. Like, Rabbit doesn't really have anything. And so yeah, there was spin applied. Rabbit was trying to frame the court the other day as yeah. Okay, I read that one. Todd's lawyer didn't show up because Rabbit was going to request more time. Yeah, it seemed like the lawyer didn't need to show up. Rabbit says he lives in a small town in Florida and sees the lawyer representing GS around town while out and about. Why is Rabbit in Florida at all? My guess is that there is some safe haven of sorts in Florida where he's able to operate with some level of discretion or indiscretion. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but it seems like he's able to have a base of operations in Florida because there's less heat on him there. Although there are charges from Florida, yes, no, involving state corrections officers. It's all very tweaky. But yeah, if I'm, let's talk this out because Aaron's bringing up a point. So more time was added because the lawyers didn't show up. Is that what you're trying to say? I think more time was going to be granted whether the lawyers were there or not. I think the lawyer just said there's no need to go. That's my understanding. I could be way off. I see you saying no. I expect him to be jailed soon. He might make another state move at some point. More time was going to be granted, period. That's my assumption. Rabbit didn't even have to show up, right? Because the paperwork represented Rabbit. And there was no objection to the paperwork that was going to be filed, so really nobody needed to show up. Rabbit tried to spin it as I showed up, just showing the court what an upstanding citizen and how concerned I am over this matter, in order to play up his story, his side of the account. That's the way I'm reading it. So it sounds like we're on the same page. So more time was going to be granted whether everybody showed up or nobody showed up. So for whatever reason, I'm gathering though that Todd was unaware of what was transpiring. I could be wrong. Maybe Todd was putting on a poker face as well. But it seemed like Todd was expecting something to happen at 11 a.m. on Tuesday in the Florida court, when all that happened was the judge said, "Hear ye, hear ye. In the matter of this matter, I decree that we will see in 2 weeks whether we will continue to hold hearings on the matter of this matter." So yeah, if that's the way the court system works, I mean that's a bit of a dumpster fire. So if it, like, why was there a question I'd have for Todd's lawyer? Why wouldn't you object to the continuance? Like, why would you just say, yeah, we're okay with a continuance? Like, Todd is wanting his rights restored as soon as possible. So unless I don't know who's representing Todd, but Todd, maybe find someone who's going to represent you in a way that's going to restore your rights as quickly as humanly possible. Because allowing the delay guaranteed that it's going to be another 2 weeks before anything can be done as far as you talking on YouTube about William J. Barthel in any tangible manner. And there's no ability for you to, as you say, protect your family as a result of a deprivation of your Second Amendment rights. Like, it's just weird. The Wyatt bet, I think that's, I think I'll take that bet. He's on new medication. He's feisty as ever. He's got a fiance, so he's got a reason to live. I don't know, Aaron. I think you're out $100. And I've done exactly, I think, 3 minutes of research. So I did catch Wyatt's live. He was live yesterday or the day before. He did disclose that he's suffered many strokes in the last year, maybe the last 6 months. I forget exactly, but I think he wants to live to 2027, and he will live to 2027. So yeah, I think I'll take you up on that. Does that make us bad people for betting on someone's life? That probably makes us real horrible people. I don't know. He's spurging out, but he's got that anti-spurg medication that is controlling his heart. So it's almost like he went to the doctor and said, I spurg out. I don't want to die as a result of spurging out. Is there anything you could do to help me to live so that I don't die from spurging? And they said, yeah, we got a pill for that. So it's like the medical establishment wants Michael Wyatt to be able to spurg to his full capacity, and it's like they're in his corner. They're trying to help him in this endeavor. So it's almost like it's a little prideful, Aaron, to think that you are gonna outsmart the medical establishment in the matter of Michael Wyatt. I don't know, yeah, but it kind of gets back to my point, is like a matter of conscience. Like, does this make us horrible people for betting on a Spurger's demise? There's probably something really. There's probably some real bad karma involved. I'm not trying to talk you out of it. Like, I'm down for the bet, but it's like we're probably both gonna experience some blowback from the universe as a result. What's a Matau? 0. This must be a new chatter. What's a Matau 0? Claims we're all horrible people. Maybe you should speak for yourself. New chatter. What's a Matau? What's a matter you? Oh, is this a new chatter? Uh, we're all horrible, awful creatures. Look at Aaron, for example. Ooh, right. The bet's on officially now. Okay, so so fuck the universe. You're after this tweaker's $100, right? He said he put in a work order for the smoke detector beeping. It's been months. Yeah, like I suppose he could die by a fire in his dwelling there. Uh, a work order, yeah. By all means, Michael, or I caution you, Michael, do not climb a ladder and attempt to change the battery in your smoke detector on your own. That will bring your demise about. Canadian, well, it'll be in U.S. dollars, so there's a conversion factor. Aaron goes back. Well, again, Aaron's not worried about the universe bringing karma on him for betting on a tweaker Spurger's demise. So going back on his bet, I'm aware of the risks involved. The bet's on officially, so all right. So we got witnesses. Uh, I don't know. Is there some guarantorship or uh, some security in this process that uh, no, I'll pay an American, and Aaron will pay an American too. Uh, Never gone back on word or bets. Well, I guess okay. If your word is your bond, I guess we'll see. So I'm good for it. So Michael Wyatt, if you're watching, listening, or if the universe is somehow observing this nefarious tweaking going on in Brent Shimko's chat at 1:15 p.m. Central Time on a Thursday, sometime in July, somewhere in North America. Uh, I wish nothing but good health, success, happiness, peace, joy for Michael Wyatt, and we'll see you on New Year's Day, 2027. Uh, I guess, yeah. If you were to maybe come up with a voodoo Michael Wyatt, that that could that could swing the odds in your favor. But you offer tag a voodoo piggy for a burrito, but he never bought a burrito. Is that what that is? A burrito? I blindly support Tag as a chat gangbanger with plenty of valor. There we go. Aaron, are you Mexican? Uh, 2.5 minutes behind. You're not missing anything. So. Yeah, I think we're both going to experience blowback as a result of this, but or Armenian or some form of place. I think Aaron Queen is an American, so whatever that means. That weird, wonderful place known around the world as America. But yeah, Michael can do it. He's good for. I really think the odds aren't. Well, to the rest of the chatters, is this a good bet or a bad bet? Tell me if I'm wrong. I think I got this one. Uh, I mean, there's definitely some comedic value, win or lose. Just for Aaron posing that bet where Michael Wyatt appears regularly in different panels and chats. I think that's quite glorious just in itself. it's not an achievement or accomplishment, but I think there's good value in posing these kind of wagers. But we are dealing with a human life here. But you can bet on anything nowadays, right? So, but yeah, let me know. Is this a fine blood sporty little bet? Just yeah, it's a friendly bet over the demise of one of our fellow YouTubers, I guess. And I mean, we didn't establish any rules, but I'm assuming you're not going to go out of your way to like cut his brake lines or well, does he drive? No, I don't think he drives. Uh, you're not going to stand in front of his house and throw a bucket of ice or a bag of ice in his walkway and cause him to slip and fall and break his hip or something. Like you're we're not allowed to actively do anything but observe his progress. Uh, I would probably, if I was Michael Wyatt, put a restraining order against Aaron Queen at this point, seeing as he's financially vested in seeing his demise. We're probably breaking all kinds of terms of service at this point. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this might be the last you see of Aaron Queen and Brent Shimko. Uh, if anybody reports this this friendly little blood sporty bet here. He likes people. He gets under people's skin. He's funny. I buy a breakfast burrito almost every day, but not for Aaron. No burrito for you. Uh, but yeah, it just occurred to me we're probably in all kinds of potential YouTube terms of service violation just for discussing this openly. So be it. Whatever. This channel doesn't mean that much to me anyway. There's well, we'll see. He he's only got like 5.5 months. I think he's got this. I don't know. You guys let me know. Like, is this am I being a sucker here or is this have I got this? The Karen squad is chatting with YouTube already. Oh, you already reported? Okay, thanks. Chow Chow seems to be okay with this. Welcome in, King Chow Chow. Can always count on Wasamatau to tweak with dignity. Have you ever tweaked with dignity, Wasamatau? Do you even know what it means to tweak with dignity? I'm waiting for an answer. Tag, do you want to explain what the smoking steak is about? Or are we just going to keep that the little inside tweaker secret? Dignity. Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. In your opinion, Wyatt is going to have more heart issues the way he gets so worked up in the chats. A little too emotional for him. Well, but that's my point. It's like the entire U.S. medical establishment knows that Michael Wyatt has the right. No, he was born to spurg out and tweak out and they are committing all their resource available to preserve his ability to do so. So I think I have enough faith in the medical system to compensate for whatever emotional lather that Wyatt can stir himself up into, that they'll be able to somehow preserve his life. Like he may end up with a pig's heart by the end of this. I don't know. He is going to drain that medical system just so he can chat, and there's nothing any of us can do about it. Like it's not like we can call up uh, the VA or the Medicaid system and say, listen, there's this tweaker who goes on chats and he's abusing basically the system in a way that you guys are keeping him alive when really he should just be allowed to suffer the consequences of his inability to regulate. No, they're going to say, no, this man is in our care and we are committed to seeing him spurg out as often as we can possibly provide. We owe it to YouTube and its parent corporation, Google. So I think Wyatt's going to be lurking on the internet for many, many days to come. Hopefully at least another 175 days. Was lurking in the chat the other day and saw smoking beef. Never replied. Yeah, people are picking up on that. I don't think they know what they're picking up on, but the thought of JJ and Butt Phone combining resources with Scal and Rabbit is so Tweek. Yeah, like I want to see that little empire disintegrate. Georgia Transparency, I just read his article on his website about Courtney Marie McLaughlin named as a defendant in some kind of lawsuit, a civil lawsuit, where she was named as a defendant, but it was ultimately dismissed. So the purpose of GT's investigation was just to identify her, not to incriminate. But yeah, there's a lot of loose threads that need to be pulled on in the JJ camp, and unfortunately at this time GS's ability to do that are somewhat limited because he can't tug on the William Barthel loose thread. I don't think he's capable of pulling on the Savage secret loose thread. Like he's just not strong enough. He does have a disability after all. But yeah, I think there's a whole syndicate, a whole criminal syndicate that's going to come down as a result of YouTube, which I think that's pretty good. I think that's tweaky, educational, and fun. I got some info on Bao because for whatever tweaker reason, Kate seems to have confided in me. It's really nothing you guys wouldn't already assume that's going on, but tweaker Kate is a genuine tweaker. Well, we know that. If she's confiding in you, she's a genuine tweaker. My father has a pig's heart valve. Somewhat ironic considering he wanted to be a pig so badly. He retired as a psychologist and tried out for the police force. Thank goodness for the nation he failed. Well, at least he's got part pig. Remember when the YouTube streets used to be educational tweaking fun? Yeah, it's really devolved into something else now. maybe we are just missing the Badger Leecher tweaker element. I don't know. I imagine GT's website gives him IP addresses of all visitors to his website. I know that kind of information can be gotten by him. Yeah. Started on Discord. I'm trying to compile Lane Myers links for educational fun. Yeah, Discord. I haven't been a partaker in all the fun educational tweaks on Discord. I don't think I want to venture into that. It's probably a whole another layer of incrimination and exposure to internet elements I don't necessarily want to be exposed to at this point. But, well, yeah, you wanna grab my IP address, whatever, whatever. Let's see. Smoking chat beef. Yeah, it's something like that. Well, yeah. So here you go. The bet is on. I guess. I guess I'll get a hold of you on New Year's Day. Send you the information of where you can send the $100. Freaking deranged, but I got some bars and zingers mixed in. Okay. Oh, documented my retarded attempts at rap disses about a local magistrate. Oh yeah, there was a grave injustice on the DirectD stream. We were subjected to, at this point I'd call it blasphemy. There was some deranged remix of Ozzy Osbourne at the beginning of Rough Stream. Like, did you guys catch that? I was ready to report him to the FBI. Just, what the hell was that? Some remix of Crazy Train that was, again, it was blasphemous. It was the most disturbing thing I'd heard, probably ever. So fuck you, DirectD, for broadcasting that blasphemy. I mean, yeah, maybe we need to bring in blasphemy laws and that kind of stuff again, just to prevent that kind of stuff from ever happening again. I mean, taking the name of Ozzy in vain like that's just wrong. It's not that I'm on some high moral position to stand on, but come on, you know that's wrong. That's, why would you do that? I don't know who made that remix, but that, straight to prison. Straight to prison. So I'm just being nosy. What exactly is the bet this time? Oh, you missed it? I thought you were here for that. The bet is that Michael Wyatt will live until January 1st, 2027. So Aaron is saying Michael Wyatt is bound for the grave within the next 5.5 months. And I'm saying Michael Wyatt is going to live on to spurg on well into 2027, at least till January 1st, 2027. What he does after 2020, what he does after January 1st, I don't really care. But I don't think the American medical establishment is going to allow him to perish between now and January 1st. So Aaron and I have got that bet going. Never watch Dookie, just catch the replaying on other streams of the restream of the restream. Well, in the stream he did last night, it was an open panel. All the haters were invited back to the open line call-in show and everybody was unblocked. So the decree went forth that everybody was going to be unblocked. It seems that it only took a matter of minutes before Aaron was either hidden or blocked as a result of some chats. But we had Rabbit, aka, or pardon me, we had William J. Barthel, aka Rabbit, on panel. He was given a few details of the TPO going on with Todd. Well, it doesn't matter what condition he survives, he just has to survive. I guess we need an official confirmation of life or death, either a death certificate prior to January 1st. I guess all the details of what constitutes a win or loss in this wager, I mean, I think it's common sense. He's either going to be alive or not alive. So, and again, there's probably going to be blowback from the universe for us even proposing this wager. But yeah, at the beginning of Dookie's live stream, in which nobody came on to give him any pushback, which I think is great. I think the people that hate him enough to the point where they don't even want to be on the same platform with him. So he had a couple of people glazing him throughout the stream, one of which was Rabbit. I don't know if anybody else came on. Oh, Savage Secret came on briefly, making a few stupid jokes about the bots. But at the beginning of his stream, there was a remix of Ozzy Osbourne, Crazy Train, which was just the most repulsive thing I've ever heard. So, what? No callers? Yeah, what a surprise. I got a feeling Wyatt won't let go until GS gets off the internet. I'll wager one tweak. Yeah, but GS is not going anywhere. I guess. Yeah. The contingency wager would be: does GS channel survive until January 1st, 2027? Because if GS goes off YouTube, then Wyatt really has no reason to live. I mean, he's got a fiance, allegedly. I don't know if she's from, sub-Saharan Africa or where she's from exactly, but he does have a fiance. So Aaron got banned. Yeah, I don't know if he got banned. He got banned from the chat, or at most he got, or at least he got hidden. But I don't know if he's blocked. But everybody that was blocked, whether it was Google blocked or YouTube blocked or just moderator blocked on DirectD's channel, everybody's been unblocked. So now we're all free to comment, and we can see DirectD in the live streams again, wherever he chats. Before I was unable to see him chat, so now I'll be able to see him in chats, allegedly. So yeah, nobody wants to talk to him. So big surprise. That's kind of what I expected. First Amendment Protection Agency was in the chats during this live stream of Christopher Ruff's. People were trying to goad him into coming on. He was not interested. 75% to affinity. Welcome in, welcome in. So yeah, I'd read your comment. Just didn't say hi to you. So here's your official hi. Hippo? 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 You're still blocked? He was in GS chat today and still haven't seen his chats. Okay, well, okay, so tweakers be tweaking. Why are you always lying? I was watching the replay, so I've gotten to the point where I don't even want to chat in DirectD's chat anymore. I think he thinks we all want to chat with him. There's a few that trickle in from time to time that give him a little bit of friction, but he just calls them goof anyway, or tells him to lick his ass, or like it's just more of the same, right? So I think just lurking and not engaging with him is kind of a fun tweaky strategy at this point. I don't know if it's educational. Yeah, maybe there's permanent chats that even you can't undo. I don't know how this works exactly. I don't know the parameters of these technologies per se, but I didn't test to see whether Dookie was good to his word or not. I don't know. I guess I'll have to wait to see if he does appear in chat boxes other than the embedded chats where I can actually see him to determine whether he's good to his word or not. I would assume he's probably not good to his word, but who knows? I think all of Lorato was essentially blocked, so it's not like I had done anything extraordinary. But as I was saying earlier, I was able to chat in one of Ruff's streams maybe 2.5, 3 months ago, and I wasn't giving him any flack. I wasn't glazing him, but I was interacting. He was actually reading my chats. And I didn't do anything to trigger him. I didn't do anything to get a mod to come after me. I was just being very low key. I was not trying to stir up anything. I wasn't instigating. I was just kind of going with the tweaker flow there. I didn't bring up butt phones or nothing like that. And so, yeah, I'll have to maybe hop on to the usual suspects and see if DirectD chats as DirectD in order for me to see whether I am in fact unblocked. That's the way you'll be able to tell. But Tag says, as far as Tag knows, he's still blocked. Aaron, we don't know the status of your blockedness, whether the blockage is permanent or it's just kind of a constipation kind of blockage. I don't know. A Tag was a mod for Dookie for a long time when he was doing 1A. He started tweaking out on everyone, and you got blocked from then on. Yeah. I spent the time at work and deleted all my old chats, which was easy. I was still in blue at the time. Yeah. I take credit. I think I got us all banned with my overt butt phone harassment campaign. Yeah, it's possible. I think, well, we did learn in the last week on one of Todd's streams that Direct Dookie is watching Todd's stream from start to finish, and this we got from Heather. So when Heather was on the Dookie Ranch property, she said he would be on Todd's streams, or at least watching, lurking, sometimes engaging with Todd's streams. Kind of whenever Todd was live, that would occupy Ruff's attention. So that's a lot of hours to put in. Man, that's, as I said last night with Coded Friend, we had GS, we had Ryder on the thing, GJM was up there, Muckster dropped in. I think they had been going for an hour. I lasted less than half an hour. It just got so spazzed out. In like no time flat. I just had enough. So I don't know, T-Man, if if you can take full credit. Uh, it's possible. It's possible you damaged all of us with your butt phone antics and the campaign that humiliates butt boofers far and wide. But I don't think so. I mean, I had I had got Ruff's attention even before I was really Larataing, when the whole shit show fell apart with Lane Myers. You know that name? When Lane and Direct D were going at it back at the end of 2024. Remember when Jim Freedom and Mitch were dispatched to go to Arizona, or to Arizona to visit Lane Myers? I'm not saying they did anything, but I do know Mitch did a live stream from in front of Lane's house talking to his neighbors. And this was when Direct D and Lane Myers, Chris Ruff and Lane Myers were going at it. And I felt at the time that Lane was wasting his time doing that. That it was a distraction from what he was doing in his legal matters. That would have been like November, December of 2024. And then that dragged on into early 2025. And then, in March of 2025, March, April, somewhere around there, that's when Lane got hemmed up, went to court, got immediately thrown into prison. But I was commenting on Lane's channel and giving Direct D a hard time back then, and that's when I really came to know who Direct D was. I wasn't aware of seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of the Tweaker Desert saga that was going on Bal's channel. I knew D from Lane's channel, and so we were kind of going at it in the chats and in the comments, to the point where Direct D had posted a community post alleging that I was some kind of chomo. And so I pushed back at him against that. I think I screenshotted that community post. But yeah, just making baseless allegations, because everybody's a chomo that comes against Direct D, I guess. Is that the rule? If you give anybody friction that you don't like, they're just a chomo. So that's what I experienced with Direct D. And then when I started getting more engaged with the online chat gang known as Lorata, which may or may not exist, and which may or may not be under RICO investigations as we speak. The Badger and Lorata had been following Direct D's Desert Chronicles Tweek streams for quite some time. I had not in, engaged or been a partaker in that revelry and that dimension of tweakerdom at that point. But having come to know more about DirectD since late 2024, he's just living out his destiny as a tweaker that really stands bald head and weak shoulders above uh, all other comers. Like I think he is the champion. So I was battling tweakers before I knew he was the tweaker that he is. I knew he was a tweaker, but little did I know. Little did I know. Oh, the tweakers on Lane's channel. Warren Monkdahl. He's another one of those kind of retards. You just can't get through to him. You can't engage with him. There was a bunch that were showing up in Lane's channel that either they were part of the DirectD Tweakerverse prior, or somehow by association drifted over to the DirectD Tweakerverse. I think Oysen was another one that was back in the day trying to stir up shit with Lane Myers to no avail. Like back then, Lane wouldn't block anybody. Now he's, or up until a week ago, like he's, as far as I know, he's still in jail. I haven't got any updates on Lane Myers. But since returning to YouTube a couple of months ago, Lane has been actively moderating his channel to block people that are not interested in talking about what he wants to talk about. Whereas before it was somewhat of a free-for-all in Lane's channel, and I took advantage of that. I was spurring out about stuff that, while supporting Lane, were not necessarily on topic of whatever Lane was doing. But yeah, there were people that were actively trying to derail what Lane Myers was doing on YouTube with his live streams through 2024 and 2025. But those all seem to have drifted over to either DirectD's corner of the internet or associated channels like Frauditor Troll and whatnot. But yeah, it's not so much battling the tweakers as it's like trying to observe them in this human zoo. And DirectD is quite the specimen to observe. Yes, he's like I said, when it comes to tweaker iconicism, like he's pretty much lapped the competition. Like there's just nobody that can keep up with that pace. So that's about all I have to say about that. So let's do a little bit of dead air. I'm not going to try to recreate the DirectD cough. That again is just levels beyond what anybody could try to emulate. Chow Chow crying, Bear, Youngblood, many others. Yeah, Ryan Youngblood was there. Bear, I do. King Chow Chow. Well, what was he going on about back then? Yeah, Ryan Youngblood was trying to stir up shit. And Ryan Youngblood seems like a bit of a a tweaker lost in time as well. I don't know all the background, but one day he was with Bao, the next day he was with Dookie, or like was he always with? I don't know. Don't necessarily care. But yeah, there were a few that were giving Lane grief. Most of it was inconsequential. Uh, but yeah, it got a little bit itchy and scratchy when when Lane did that. See, that was a legit cough, but doesn't even compare to what Direct D can cough up a lung and a half. Uh, it got itchy and scratchy when Lane did the stream where it was alleged that somebody shot through his window. You guys remember that? I think that was the same stream where D's Direct Dookie. Well, my new nickname for him is Direct Estrogen or Direct Emphysema. Take your pick. I think they're both winners. Uh, but yeah, Lane was alleging somebody threw a rock or fired a gun that was captured on security cam through his window where he was live streaming. And then I think that very same stream, we had Dasfoot geolocate Direct E's actual physical location with coordinates and everything. And then there were allegations that Mitch was involved as well as Jim Freedom somehow. I don't think they actually had anything to do with it, but somehow Mitch was on the scene in Pima County in front of Lane's house doing a live stream talking with Lane's neighbors within several days of that occurrence. So it was at that point, even back then, I was saying, is this a psyop? Is Lane Myers kind of psyoping all of us? Like this just none of that seemed to add up logically either. Maybe there is no logical explanation for all that tweaky, weird chain of events, but it was weird. It was definitely a weird scene. I couldn't make sense of it other than I think I had commented to Lane, just leave it be. This is not going to help your situation at all. Uh, Lane didn't heed my suggestion. I don't know if it would be considered advice, but I think I just was letting him know this is a distraction. This is taking you off track of where you need to be focusing. Because those were the days he'd do 12-hour live streams, and he would dedicate like a whole 12 hours to Tweaker D, and it's like nobody cares about this faggot. But for whatever reason, Lane decided to care about him, and it seemed like that was a stumbling block that inevitably caused him to lose focus enough on what he should have been focused on. That's my criticism of, or critique, because there's a difference between criticism and critique. Critique is just like let's, after you lose the big football game, you get in the locker room and the coaches critique your performance. If we're going to critique Lane's performance, he never should have got involved with anything happening out of Apache County, in my opinion. That was a distraction that took his energy away from where it needed to be focused. And in some form or fashion, I had communicated to him. Maybe he didn't read my comment, but I think he was reading everybody's comments at that point. It wasn't a chat comment. It was a comment in a video where I said, this is not helping you focus where you needed to. But that whole window shattering scenario, it you wondered about it. It doesn't matter what actually happened, but it's like the event that caused a chain of events that caused Lane to kind of misstep, in my opinion. Because he spent about a week trashing DirectD. And it's like, buddy, you got actual cases that you need to focus on. DirectD is nothing you need to focus on. So again, was that meant to confuse my pea brain about what was going on? It just didn't make sense at the time. And maybe DirectD was mobilized to cause that chain of events to happen, to cause that misstep. I could be completely wrong. Maybe Lane's circumstances had nothing to do with DirectD, but I think just distracting him, even briefly, was not working in Lane's favor. That's my point. Is like for like a week, Lane was focused on DirectD when it was completely unnecessary. It wasn't great content, especially when Bao had DirectD covered. So that's the problem with being under socialized and half crazy. Yeah. But I mean, Lane was gonna do what Lane was gonna do. It's not like I had an expectation that he needed to heed any warnings or take any kind of counsel. But as a critique, I think that week spent on DirectD would have better been spent doing other things. Anything, mountain biking, smoking a bong, like not live streaming about virtually anything you can think of besides live streaming about DirectD would have been a better use of his time. Is what I was getting at. And yeah, Lane was kind of getting to the point where he had an audience, and it's not necessarily he was becoming performative, but it's like just that's where the momentum was taking him. And I had pointed out, I was like, you don't need this kind of momentum. So I don't know if anybody would have been able to keep him focused. He was focused on what he was focused on, and there's probably no convincing him to do anything other than focusing on what he was focusing on. Lane had made a few mods that were blocking people. They were in cahoots with Dookie, unknown by Lane. Lane was new to live streaming, and they snuck in at the time. Well, yeah, Concerned Citizen was one of the most. Let me see if I have any extra power. I got low battery on this thing. Do you have any power in this brick? Nope, we're gonna plug you into this thing. Keep this going a little longer. I don't know if that helped. But yeah, Sassy Kisses. I don't know. She seemed like she was legit on Lane's side, but since Lane had been in jail, she seems to have drifted over to direct estrogen side. This is a public service. Was he a mod? Josh? Reluctant Prophet. Was he a mod? I think Reluctant Prophet was a mod. I don't think they were recruited to bring about Lane's demise. I think they were legit supporters, but yeah, Sassy, I don't know about now, because she was getting in on the sandbagging of Direct D whenever he showed up, and then ended up, I see her in Direct D's chats. I see her on Savage Saints broadcasts. I'm not sure why you would side with Savage Saints over anything, unless you're a complete degenerate retard, I guess. Like what do you call that community? Degenerate retardism? Spurging for fun? I don't know. But in any case, I gotta piss. I gotta let my devices recharge. Maybe when I'm really bored later this afternoon, I'll get back on. But yeah, let's break here. Let's go find some quality tweaks, possibly some dignified tweaks elsewhere on YouTube. And or maybe not. Maybe there's no dignified tweaks to be had. But make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you to my supporters. Got some new support on that Buy Me a Coffee thing, the Buy Me a Coffee grift. So thanks to those supporting this channel in whatever way. Just your being here is a wonderful support. Betting on people's demise is a way to show your support. We're not a registered charity or corporation of any kind, so it's not like we're contravening any tax laws or anything like that. It's just blood sporty YouTube stuff. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, buy me a coffee, get this video hyped, buy some bots for this channel. What else do you need? Hit that notification bell, save this video, share this no, I already said share. What else do you need? Subscribe to this channel, send super chats, yeah, do all the things that you're supposed to do on YouTube. And yeah, gotta go, man. What's it gonna take to get monetized? I guess subs. I think I need to get up to 1,000 subs. Probably some view time too, but I think I'm only halfway to where I need to be for subs. So, hence the Buy Me a Coffee. So I like the Buy Me a Coffee platform in that your money doesn't go to Google. They take Buy Me a Coffee takes a small percentage to administrate the transaction. I guess you could do peer-to-peer, but really all I would have is PayPal accessible to my American audience. Like, I don't think Venmo is available to me. We don't have Cash App up here. So PayPal is the way to go. If you need to send me money, find me on PayPal. But the Buy Me a Coffee is linked pinned in the chat, and away we go from there. But that's how you can buy me a coffee, is through Buy Me a Coffee, and more of your money goes into this coffee cup than if you give it through YouTube anyway. So that's where we're at with that. But monetization, yeah, I'm not necessarily opposed to monetization, but I don't think I've reached the threshold, and I'm not actively trying to build the channel. It's all just YouTube tweaker babble. Like, share, subscribe, hype. Get those bot farms activated, and yeah, monetization, it'll either happen or it won't. It doesn't make a difference. But in any case, we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for leaving. Stay tweaky.